Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. I was going into the next set of sutras, the stop techniques. However, there is a question. I need to take that before going to. Someone asked 12 years ago when he came in contact with taoshobuddha, he told him that the moment a seeker comes to a master, he is initiated. So in that light, and then it is said that this is the initial initiation. Why is initiation necessary? Initiation becomes necessary for two reasons. Number one, as such, as an individual, you are unconscious. You are unconscious. If you are conscious, then initiation is not that important, because initiation is the process to connect you to the master consciously. How does this happen? Whatsoever we are in this life is the outcome of our accumulated actions, our thoughts. First, a thought comes in, thought becomes action. In Bhagavad Gita, in the battle of Kurukshetra, Mahabharata, Arjun is very angry and anxious to take action against the atrocities of his cousins. He has gotten the opportunity. So he tells Krishna, his charioteer, to carry the chariot in the midst of the two armies, so he can have a clear view of all those with whom he has to fight. All of a sudden, when the chariot is parked in front of the army, he sees the grandsire Bhishma, his gurus and cousins and all the familiar faces. He begins to shiver, and he tells Krishna, of what use is to kill all these people? What will I gain after killing these kith and kin, the family members? will I be able to enjoy the kingdom? What is actually happening at that moment? Krishna, Arjun is identifying with the form, the outer appearance. Each individual has two forms, the inner and the outer. Your name is identification, but the name is not you. Name is a form which has been given to this body, mind, intellect. But within this, that which is formless, that which is without, that is never born, never dies, then that is never born, never dies. That is your real form. I am identified at the moment as taoshobuddha. This is the form in which I appear in front of you. Are you connected with my form, the outer one or the inner one? That's where the conscious and unconsciousness comes in. I am identified as taoshobuddha. That is not my name. I am identified as Indian because I must be born at a certain place. If you are consciously connected to my inner being, then initiation is there. So sometimes when you come to the Master, you come for certain reasons. Maybe the way he speaks, the way he explains things, attracted you and brought you in his communion. This is the first initiation. Means you have entered the school or the university or the commune of the Master. The first initiation is complete. With this, the progress begins. And you can continue this. If you are conscious, conscious means a person tells me that while he was out of town, his brother who was taking care of his business stole the money, and that has put him into a bad financial status. Is money yours? Everything, resources belong to God. Everything belongs to God. I will tell you one thing that will explain much of these things. The life is continuous. The physical life is of a certain age, based on the life expectancy. However, the life of the being is much longer. It continues until the inner flowering is complete. You attain to inner awakening. So you know only one life. And even in this life, you have passed through various stages as a child, adult, youth, and whatsoever, if you had not taken care of your health during the youth, its effect will continue in the later part of your life. If you have lived your life following the rules, continuing the life consciously, then you will have the physical health even in your old age. The same thing happens in the case of the life of the being. Now, where you have left today, tomorrow you begin from that. When you have finished the Form 1 and you graduate from there, you enter into Form 2. In soul's journey, you graduate from one stage and you enter into the second. When my mother was pregnant, my grandmother asked the grandfather, what name we will give to our grandson, the son of the daughter. Brij Mohan Lal said, he used to work in police office. He said, today a thief was brought into the police office and his name was Brij Kumar. I will name our grandson Brij Kumar. That's it. I was too young when he took Samadhi to know what did he mean by this. I heard this, I do not know from who, from my father or from someone else. Now how do I understand the message of the Master? If I am conscious, I can connect to his inner being. And why did he give me this name? Number one, you are organizing a function, and in order to do that, so many things have to be taken into account. The invitations to be sent, the arrangement for the place, the parking facility, the seating arrangement, the decor of the place, the meals. So these responsibilities you delegate to different people. But the ultimate responsibility is yours to see that everything goes on properly. So you will keep on inquiring from all the respective stakeholders to know how they are progressing. And if somehow or the other you realize that this one particular aspect is not being taken care of, or the person who is not competent enough, if all the people are not competent enough, then what will happen? The responsibility on you will be much more. If one is, you can do that responsibility on your own, take it on your own shoulders. If every one of the stakeholders realize the importance of their role in the success of this, in the fulfillment of this particular event, the things will be easier. In the existence, every single individual has a responsibility to live life consciously, not to throw their garbage. Now, I take one example to explain. In your city, the garbage is collected by the agencies. Each agency, they give their instructions. There are certain items which are recyclable, which has to be placed in a separate bin, and the one that is the other has to be placed in a separate bin. And you are given the dustbins to put the garbage in it, and on a particular day when the garbage people will come in your area, you have to bring out those garbage bins completely covered, all the items properly in the garbage bin, so that it does not cause any problems. And if it is a food bin, afterwards you clean it. If you do not follow the instructions, the entire thing will be in a chaos. Now you look into the world. Are we disposing of our thoughts, actions, consciously or unconsciously? We consider the money is mine, so this person considers the money as his own, and what he is doing, he is angry over his brother who mismanaged the funds and put him into the problem. Is this conscious or unconscious? All money belongs to God. You are simply the custodian. You, by virtue of certain things, you are given the authority to manage the finances. You are financial manager of the organization, because you can manage the finance of the organization in a better way. God has given me the opportunity to manage the finance and everything consciously. Now, on the contrary, in the business, someone did the transaction. For some reason or the other, you could not pay the money. Everyone tells me that you should take the legal action against that. Now, I said no. He is already in a position that he cannot. If I take the legal action, it will take much longer and even the matter may not resolve. So whatsoever I owed him in the past lives, that is clear. So when I was given the name Brij Kumar, that means with that name I was given a responsibility to clean up the existence as much as possible. To clean up the existence as much as possible. I am into the business. Many people took the money, they did not return. Tried to do whatever is possible. So I am in the process of cleaning consciously, and in that it happened. My work is never stopped. I am never put into any problem. But to say that this is my child, this is my mother, no. This world is a final stage on which we come to act our part. In this particular episode of the drama of life, this particular person is my wife and my son. Now it comes, you can do anything for your family members, but if someone who is in need and the person does not happen to be your family, no, you cannot do that. Very rarely someone will go out of the way. India teaches the message Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudha means the whole earth. Kutum means family. The whole earth is my family. Because you are part of the same existence, you are created by the same God who created me. You are part of my family. I don't know you. Why do I want you? I do not gain anything from you, financially or otherwise. Yet still I spend my time in the development of your consciousness because you are part of my family. If this understanding comes to you, you are connected to the Master consciously, then conscious connection means you are connected to the innerness of the Master. When Sufi Brij Mohan Lal took Samadhi, my uncle Sheikh Onkar Nath was 17 years of age. So the people who gathered, it was a discussion how his body is to be cremated. Lalaji's body was cremated according to Hindu ways, and his younger brother, the father of Brij Mohan Lal, was cremated according to the Islamic ways. So some said, because he is the son of Raghuvar Dayal, whose body was cremated according to Islamic rites, so it should be done like that. And they were asking these questions to Onkar Nath. He was in confusion what to do. He went to his mother and he said, what the people are talking, all these different things. You know what did his mother told him? Mother said, you ask your father how he wants his cremation to be done. He is not there. He is no more alive. How can he connect to him? You are far away, thousands of miles away from me. Can you connect to me? When you have a question, you pick up the phone and call me. If you are conscious, if you can connect to the innerness of the master, of the sheikh, you will close your eyes and sit down and feel his presence, and whatsoever comes to you, it is the message of the master. So his mother said, ask your father. So he sat down in meditation and he felt within. Sheikh Brij Mohan Lal is saying that my cremation should be done the way it was done for Lalaji. Now, there was no doubt in his mind that it is not the message from Brij Mohan Lal, because there was no distorted connection between Brij Mohan Lal and Omkarnath. Connection was direct, whether through Facebook or this or that, and finally the cremation was done. All the arguments and everything subsided the moment Omkarnath came out and he said, Sheikh Brij Mohan Lal wants his cremation to be done the way it was done for Lalaji. If this kind of connection is established in you, then the second initiation is not important. You can sit down yourself and connect to the master, and he will direct you which method or which thing is to be followed by you. There should be no doubt. Now, this is the inner identification. You are not connected in that way to the form of taoshobuddha. You are connected to the innerness of Buddha. So when Krishna tells Arjun, these are that who you have considered, whether these people have done certain atrocities, they are all death bound. If you kill or someone else kills, does not matter. Let the credit go to you. You are killing their form, the form in which they have committed the atrocities, because there is a script written and you have to act according to the script. And then the entire message of Bhagavad Gita was given to Arjuna, so that he could understand the essence of life and act accordingly. So initiation when you are conscious, you are important, you are connected to the master. Otherwise, you come That is why it is said that once in a while you should visit the Master. But because of the distance and many other factors, there are other devices available. Then you can connect to the Master. If you are conscious in your past lives, your consciousness, your mind, your body, they are all dissected by the Master. You are felt deeply in terms of where you are, because the journey begins from the point where you are, you have left, and where you stand now. In that case, just any method will not do. The Master chooses a particular method for you, and if he feels that this particular method has to be changed for you, that moment alterations are made. But if you are conscious, you are connected to the Master, then you can do it on your own. So the first initiation is when you come to the commune. The second initiation is when you establish an inner connection with the Master. The moment that is established, then it may not be necessary. You can choose the particular method. If it is to be changed, you can feel the vibrations within you that you have to change. You have to go, as I gave the few examples. Omkarnath felt within that his father wants his cremation to be done the way it was done for Lalaji. This is what it is needed. And this has to be kept secret. And this is between you and the Master. A secret connection, and you need not explain this to anyone else. And when I am speaking on this 112 techniques of meditation, in the congregation who is listening, there are seekers at different stages of their development. I am explaining the scientific aspect of each technique. You can practice it, but the most effectiveness will come in when the Master gives you. Or if you are conscious enough, you are connected to the innerness of the Master, then you can choose on your own as if the Master has spoken to you. So it's the process of initiation is to make you conscious, not operating through your unconscious state or your ignorance. Aurobindo very aptly says, we are not aliens nor as strangers join. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. There is a power within that knows beyond our knowings. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, if there is any other question arising out of this, you can send it to me and I will try to respond. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.